O, tagad būs redzi, tagad rādās skaņa. Un tu kaut kādu mūziku arī esi uzlikusi.
Okay, I think it should work now. Please let me know. I hope it works. At least I can see like the sound bar jumping a little bit. Yeah, and it's again embarrassing because last time it was the same thing that I was just blabbing for I don't know how long and no one could hear me, but I really hope that it works this time. Yes, it works. Okay, awesome. Yeah, welcome to my second live stream. It's been a while since I did it last time. I think it was, I don't know, early this year. And yeah, I wanted to do more of them, but I didn't. And I just didn't have time, but I had some nice projects now in mind to do, and I thought that it would be nice to actually do it together, because recently I'm just super obsessed with doing raglan things. I will show you a couple. I put them here aside so I can just show you basically what I have created and all the inspiration and how it grew. And then I thought that it would also be nice just to work on something together, because perhaps this live stream we can just work together on something, or maybe you can use it later as a reference for working on your own raglan sweater. And also apologies for having this live stream as such a short notice, but I'm still so happy and kind of also surprised that people are still here, because I was like stressing out so much that no one will be here, but I'm so happy to see you here, and yeah, thanks for being here. But yeah, so I have my camera here. I was just showing it earlier just for showing like basic stitches, so I will try to kind of like put my hands here just to zoom in on what I'm doing, and I hope that this will be fun. And yeah, so let's get started. So first I think I will just show you what I have created and how it all came to life, basically. So first, I remember there were some requests on my previous videos where people wanted to have more raglan tutorials, and then since it was still summer, I thought that it would be nice to create kind of like a shrug, so only the arm part. And I first created this one, which was actually a very fun project to be working on. I won't be trying it on just now, but I liked it a lot because I managed to use some yarn that I had, and yeah, and this also gives me an opportunity to basically work further and create it into a sweater, which I'm still hoping to do, but I forgot to order this color of yarn, so perhaps I will do it sometime later. So I finished this one, and then I thought, okay, this is kind of like filet crochet or halfway filet crochet. It's just that it's missing some design or basically drawing on it. So then I thought that it would be nice to actually like expand it and work on it further, and also include like flowers and so on. And these flowers are actually inspired from the filet crochet dress that I have, so it really goes together like super nicely as a matching combo. And then I thought, okay, winter is coming, so we should definitely try to prepare like a sweater. And I actually left it on my sofa, so just 1 second and I will be back. And I basically just made a raglan sweater, which I have here like this, and this is how it looks. So also super appropriate for the season that is coming just now. And basically with this you can already hear that I'm super hooked up on just doing like raglan thingies, because it's also so satisfying to work on them, and they work up so quickly, especially when you're using like 5mm crochet hook, because this sweater I wasn't sure if I will have enough yarn, but at the end I was super lucky and I managed to finish this sweater in like 2 days, and that was also including filming a tutorial and writing up the pattern and filming some Instagram reels on the side. So I was super happy that I was able to, I was surprised that I was able to do it so quickly, because I also had family coming visiting here, and I just wanted to finish it on time, and I managed. So that was nice. And then I started to work on another project, which is basically just for finishing everything or finishing all the yarn that I have. And it is this kind of like a cardigan thingy, which I still have to finish because it's work in progress. I'm not sure what I want to do with the front part, because at first I thought that I will just add in a zipper, but the thing is that I don't remember myself using a sewing machine, so I don't even know how it would be possible. But then I thought perhaps I can add buttons, but then I also thought that I haven't made like buttonholes already, and then I thought maybe I can do like, or add in like little hooks that would just connect each part, and then I just couldn't find them. So this is still something to be worked on. But yeah, the reason for doing all of these sweaters was just to finish the yarn that I have, and just to get rid of it, because I obviously have too much. And then, surprise, surprise, we were just doing some grocery shopping, and in the local store we found this yarn, which was discounted from, I'm based in Denmark, so everything is in Danish crowns, and initially it was 25 crowns, which is like maybe 4 euros, and now it was for only 10, so 140, something like that, which is, I think, is cheap, and I really like this style, and I thought that it would be nice and fluffy sweater to work on. And this is where we are with this live stream. On my Instagram, I also kind of made a poll on what would be the nicest thing to actually do a live stream on. And you basically had a chance to choose between using this one and to work on a blanket. But most of you voted for the sweater, so this is what we are doing. But I think I will do the blanket thingy at some point soon as well, because I'm quite excited about this yarn. It's super, super thick, and it requires like a size 15 or like 15 centimeter hook. They sent it to me, it's massive, so I'm quite excited about that as well. But anyway, let's get started on this raglan sweater. And this is how far I am. So I just prepared some chains already before I jumped here, because I didn't want to be counting too much. But in terms of materials, this is what I'm using. So I have this yarn here, let me show it to you. And also in terms of like all the specs, you can see them here. I hope you can. So it's basically a super fluffy yarn that I'm using, and kind of like a mix between wool, acrylic, I don't know, I cannot pronounce, and polyester. But yeah, it's very fluffy, and for like the suggested hook size is 6 millimeters, so this is what I'm using. And our main aim for this is just to have enough chains that it goes around your neck, and that you are also able to like pull it over your head. So that is the aim that we want to have. And I did some tests already before, just to make sure that I'm doing enough chains, that it works for me, and so on. So in this case, for this one, so we are leaving a stitch marker here in the very first chain. Then I did 15 chains. Then after those 15, in the next one, I did another stitch marker, and then basically that's it. So 15 or 1, 15, 1, 15, 1, 15, 1, 15. And in total, this is 64 chains. And I like to leave these stitch markers as the first thing, like already in these chains, because then it's easier and I don't have to worry about counting them afterwards, and you just have them here. So this is what we have. So just if you're using the same materials, just make sure that you have 64 chains and leave a stitch marker on every 16th chain, basically. So this is what you have to do. But if you are using like a smaller hook size, for example 5 millimeter hook size, then I would just advise that you add extra 2 chains in each of these 15 that you have here, so it would be 17 instead. And then also the same kind of like if you go a hook size lower, but just make sure that all these 4 bigger gaps are in equal length in terms of chains, and just also measure that it works around your head. And in my case, like if I check it, it could be a little bit like tighter even, and also the yarn itself is quite stretchy, as you might know. But once you have these chains, what we have to do is we just have to connect them together by using a slip stitch, and I normally just make sure to kind of like go through and check if everything is straightened out, because we don't want these chains to be twisted, because it won't look nice for the like initial part or the first row. So I just went through, and now what we want to do is to connect them together, and for that I normally just do a slip stitch. So here I will just try to use this camera. So I'm just going through this first chain where I have my first stitch marker, and going through there and grabbing yarn, pulling it through and pulling it through the loop that I have on my hook. So just doing a basic slip stitch, and it's a bit wonky because it's not that easy to work like this, but now it is connected. As you can see, we kind of have this square, and now we can start, because like this is our neckline that we will have here, and we can start working on the first row that we have here. And yeah, so what we want to do, like each stitch marker that we have here is basically the corner, and in the corners we always have to remember to do our corners in here. I hope this makes sense. But also for this raglan, I wanted to do something that is like a mesh type of thing. So basically the raglan sweater that I have here with the drawing, but we just skip the drawing and we just want to have like laces, and that is it. And I think it will be kind of like a nice and fluffy, cloudy winter look, I think. But let's get started. So because we are doing these gaps in between stitches, in the first one we have to do 4 chains, and chains are easy, all of you should know. So first we are starting with 4, so 1, 2, 3 and 4, and this chain of 4 is going to count as 1 double crochet and chain 1 space. And then right after that we are still continuing in this same space where we have our corner, and in there we just have to add another double crochet. So this will be the middle stitch of this corner, which we can also mark for the reference on the next round. And then after that we are again chaining 1 and doing another double crochet inside this same space, like this. So here you can see we have kind of created a corner in here, and we also have this middle stitch, which we can mark with our stitch marker. So we can just remove the stitch marker and move it up there. So during the next round we will remember that we have to do exact same steps that we just did here. And I can also show here, maybe if it helps. So this is how it looks, and we have now just completed this corner. And then after that, because we are doing this mesh thingy, we are chaining 1, skipping 1 and doing a double crochet in the next. So I'll do it here. So chaining 1, then skipping 1 chain that we have here, and then in the next one we are just doing a double crochet, and we have kind of created a gap in here like this. I hope you can see because my table is white. So we have 1 corner and then we have this gap. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna keep on repeating, chaining 1, skipping 1 and doing a double crochet in the following chain that we have, and I'm gonna do that until I reach this point, which is here. So let's do that, and then we will be able to do a corner in the next stitch marker like this. And also let me just check the comments because I haven't. I just finished making a bell sleeve sweater. Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's also something that I'm thinking about, like creating for a winter version, because it would be nice, and yeah, super nice project. I remember I did a couple during summer. Yeah, nice. And hello to Argentina. I'm trying to actually learn Spanish. It's not going super great. I mean, I do it only on Duolingo, and I have become lazy, but I always do my one lesson per day just to remind myself, because I don't want to lose my Duolingo streak. But yeah, I'm trying to pick up some words, but it's not super awesome. But yeah, I think Spanish is so useful. I mean, any language is useful. And hi. Yeah, so nice to have you all here. I'm just glad. I was really stressed actually that there will be no one, like really stressed. Yeah, super nice to hear that you're crocheting as well. So this is how it looks, how far I have got, and I have now just reached the stitch marker, and to get there we actually have to chain one and then do our corner stitches. So I'm just chaining one and then jumping in this stitch with the stitch marker. So this is our first double crochet in there. So very similar as it was here, except here we had chains, but now we have an actual stitch. And then after that, again chaining one and doing a double crochet in the same space. So this is our middle stitch, and oh my god, it's so messy here. So this is how it looks so far. And since we did this middle stitch, I will also just move the stitch marker up, and I'll just add it here in the middle, because yeah, I think sometimes it helps so much to just remind yourself, because when I'm crocheting sometimes I'm also just going into like a autopilot where I forget what I'm doing, and then in that mode it's so easy to do mistakes. And yeah, I mean, you know, like it's sometimes so obvious that there shouldn't be like an extra stitch or a gap or whatever, and you don't even know what happened and how it got there. But here this is how it looks with another corner added, and if you check, this is how it is. So one side is finished, and now I'm just gonna do the same also for the rest. And basically we are just going all the way around, and that is it. But yeah, also excited about actually using a 6mm crochet hook, because it just gives you like an extra speed with whatever you're doing. Like everything happens so fast. And I mean, crochet is like any craft that you do with your own hands, it's quite slow, of course, because you're making it literally from a scratch. But like with an extra hook, it kind of like always blows my mind that it can actually go this fast. But yeah, sometimes it's also hard to work on those projects, because you also have to think about the yarn, because like one skein of yarn in terms of like length of the actual yarn that you get isn't as much. But yeah, it depends on what you're working on, but it's always so fun, I think, with bigger hooks and like chunky yarns. That's why I'm so excited about trying on this one, and I think it would be so nice for a blanket. Yeah, I cannot wait. But yeah, also excited about this sweater, and this is why I wanted for this stream to happen, to push it a little bit earlier, because I mean, I've been trying to do something already for like a couple of months, and then I just thought on myself that if I don't do it now, it probably won't happen anytime soon. And I thought maybe, okay, I just announced it and people are not super aware that I want to do it. But I thought, yeah, I could wait until the next weekend, but I kind of don't have any plans this weekend, and I'm not working on like any super new patterns or projects or tutorials right now. So I thought I can just do it now. And yeah, that's why I'm so happy to have you guys here. But here I have finished already the third corner, and we are nicely going around, and this is how it looks. So only 2 edges left, and we will have our first round ready. Yeah, and maybe guys, like if you can let me know how did you hear about this stream, because I know that I scheduled it here, and then I also posted on my story, so just so I know where it's best for the next time to announce things like that. yeah, let me know, because I'm just curious, because perhaps if most of you came from YouTube and saw like a notification in here, then maybe I can just focus on announcing things here. But I did post in my stories, and I also posted an option that you can ask questions, and I did get some questions, which made me also think that I haven't really introduced myself, and I have got some new followers which don't really know what exactly I am or what I'm doing. And I've been like, another thing that I wanted to post recently was this trend that one girl, 10 obsessions. And I thought that would be a nice post to actually reintroduce myself, which I haven't done since I started my Instagram account. And yeah, then I forgot, and it feels like, yeah, I always jump on some sort of trend super late. But yeah, okay, and here it's from YouTube. Nice. Yeah, I think YouTube notifications are actually quite good. I also saw it myself. Like, I was making a picture and I wanted to post in my stories that I'm going live. And right at the time when I was taking the photo, like the notification popped on. So I thought, oh, this is actually a nice chance to take a screenshot and then post it. But yeah, that's nice. And I'm here already working on the fourth corner, and then we just have this one edge that needs to be completed. So let's do that. And then like the main process or steps that we have to do for this raglan will also be explained, and this is why I like this type of project, because it's so easy to also teach for beginners, because you just have to know the basic stitches, so chains and double crochets, and then once you know that, then you can just keep on going. So this is even like a super nice beginner project. And yeah, it works up really quickly. So just a few stitches, and then we will connect this round together. Okay, nice to hear that actually YouTube is better for announcing these things. But I also have never done any stream on Instagram or TikTok. I haven't done it, and yeah, maybe sometime in the future. But yeah, good to hear that you are coming from here. But yeah, what I started to say was, yeah, I posted a story asking if there are any questions, and yeah, I thought that it would be nice to reintroduce myself. So one of the questions was where I'm actually from. I'm from Latvia, and yeah, you can also tell me in the comments where are you from, because it would be nice to hear. I know that we have one person from Argentina, but what about the rest of you that are here? But yeah, I'm from Latvia, but I'm actually living together with my boyfriend in Denmark, and we've been living here now in Copenhagen for about 5 years, a little bit over 5 years. So this is where I'm based, and this is also another reason why I wanted for this stream to happen quite early. It is now 4:30 in the afternoon, and I know that this is not super good timing for people in the US, because I know that I have some followers there, but I just wanted to catch some sunlight, because now the sun is starting to set around 6 o'clock, which is very early. Okay, we have one from Scotland, so I guess you're 1 hour backwards, which is even a little bit earlier, but I think it's nice. But today it's a very sunny day, so I'm getting some light here. But yeah, for this stream, I thought like, if I start at 4 and then we finish at 6, then I have enough sunlight to actually be able to do this. Portugal, nice. I was there in May. I was in Faro actually. This is how it looks. So now I have completed this first round, and then once I did this last stitch that we have here, so after the stitch I just have to chain one and then again chain 1, we are skipping 1, and then once we have skipped this last stitch, we have actually reached this chain of 4 that we have here. And as you remember, chain of 4 counted as 1 double crochet plus chain of 1. So in this third chain, this is where we are actually doing our slip stitch and just connecting this round together like this. So now this is connected and we can move further with the next round. And from now on, kind of like the process will be, I know that for this sweater that I have here, I was working in rounds without turning my work ever, but I think for this one, we will actually keep on like flipping sides every time. So now I'm here and I want to start a new round. So for that, I'm just chaining 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, this chain of 4 is going to count as 1 double crochet and chain of 1. So it's basically creating this edge for the next block that we have. And in this case, we are also turning our work. So I was just here like this, and I was explaining that it will become like a new block here, but then we are actually turning our work, and instead of continuing to go this way, we will go this way. So kind of like going backwards from where we started. So since it counts as chain 1 space, we are skipping this 1 block, and then the next stitch is going to come here on top of this double crochet that we have. And then we can just keep on repeating this process that we have here. So here I have started, this is the first block of the next second row that we have. Oh, someone else from Latvia. Hi, ciao. And then we are continuing further. And we are doing that until we reach this stitch marker that we have here, and in there we are adding another corner. So I'm just crocheting along, and let me just use my camera here so you can just see what is happening. It is a little bit not that visible, I would say, because I have to move to the other side, but I hope it makes sense. So this is how far I am. I have made now 3 of these blocks, and you can see like the size already is like super massive. I have only started to work on the second row, and like it builds up the volume so quickly. So also when I was planning this project, I wasn't sure like if it will make sense, because I'm sure that we will be able to cover a lot of work within like a short period of time that we have here. But let me just get to the next corner, and then perhaps we can actually try it on, because I forgot to do it for the first round that was just finished. So let me just jump to this stitch marker right in the corner. This is how it is. And just slowly getting there. Okay. First stitch in the corner. Let me just do the middle stitch, and then I will move the stitch marker, and then I will be able to just check it. Okay, so here I have got there. Let me move this yarn. I also, one good tip is that I noticed this actually from Hobbies yarns. They always, at least for the cotton yarn, they always have kind of like a string coming out from here, and it says easy start. And in the very beginning, I was very confused. What does it mean? Because like normally I would just start from like the outer part, and then whenever I would have to pull yarn, it was just annoying. But then I realized that I can actually start from the middle. So this is what I have started to do with all the yarns that I have, even if they don't have this yarn coming out from here. But normally I just dig in and then pull it out, and I just continue doing from here. So sometimes it can be yeah, you can see sometimes it comes out like this, but still, like after a while it starts to come out easier, and then you also don't have to worry about your yarn jumping around and like making loops all across your sofa or whatever, because it doesn't really fall. But that's an easy tip. But yeah, here I just finished. Oh my god. Something just went out. Okay, let me fix this, because I put in a stitch marker and I put it in wrong, and now I lost my end. Okay, let me fix it, and then we are trying it on officially. Okay. Yeah, I put it in the wrong place, but here it is. So 2 corners, second row started halfway there, and if I try it on, it's actually, I could have gone a little bit tighter for the neck part, but it's very easy for me to try it on. And let me move it to this side. Yeah, I should have ironed my shirt, but this is how it looks. So only 2 rows, or like only started to work on the second row, but it already creates a lot of volume, so it's nice. But let's continue. And I have all my yarn mess here, but I promise it's much easier after a while. Once the yarn comes out from there, it is easier to not worry about like the skein jumping all over the place. Okay. And now I'll put it in here. But yeah, for this winter I actually wanted to work on, not only because I have all this yarn that I have to get rid of, and I put it in here because I thought it would be nice to also show it to you. I have this, which is also very, very chunky, and it's not like a regular yarn. It's kind of like the each piece that is here, it's also kind of like worked together from a tinier piece, and then it's made like into a much thicker one. But I have 2 skeins of this, and I don't really know what to do with it. And then I also have 3 skeins of the similar type, which is like this. And I think it would be, this could be possibly enough to create kind of like a vest or something like that. I'm not sure. I can just think about it, but I have a lot of yarn, and yeah, this winter or this autumn I wanted to work on something that would be like more sweaters, more like warmer things, because if I don't do it now, I won't manage to do it until next year probably. But yeah, I have a lot of yarn, and I need to clean up my cupboard. So also, if there are any other like winter related requests that you would like to see on my channel, then just let me know, because I have to figure out what exactly people want to see me creating, and also what would be interesting for you to have as a pattern, have as a tutorial, or just to see more of, because yeah, it's nice to actually work on projects that people are curious about. Because on my channel I try to do like mixed content. I try to work on a lot of beginner stuff, because I remember when I started crocheting, sometimes it was hard to find exactly what you wanted and find something that is in a speed where you can actually follow along and you don't have to worry about missing something. So I also try to, like, even if it's a little bit harder tutorial, or the project is perhaps like extra level, which is not necessarily beginner friendly project, I always try to explain all the steps in beginner friendly way, because perhaps you are a beginner, you know how to do stitches, and you're just looking for a more challenging project to be working on. Then I try to do that and always try to explain. But yeah, what I'm saying is that I have mixed content where I try to do beginner friendly stuff and just to kind of like make people up to speed with like their crochet skills, and to make sure that you are able to just begin your crochet journey. But then I also try to do like more trendier things and do something new, or try to come up with new ideas and like whatever is I don't know, trending in general. So that's what I'm trying to do. But yeah, always curious to also hear from you. I know that I have done a couple of requests of like different sort of things that people are interested in, and yeah, basically just try to do all sorts of content. And when I started my channel, in the very beginning, I tried to do a lot of granny squares, because that was like the door that opened me to crochet, let's say, because I did a couple of granny squares, and then I thought it's actually fun little project to do. And from granny squares you can make so many different things, and you can just connect them together, add some borders, add this, add that. So it was like really fun for me to start with granny squares, and therefore in the beginning I was also doing a lot of different granny square types. Yeah, I have sunflower, I have hard granny square, then I have all sorts of different other flowers, then I even have a granny square eye, I have monstera leaf also as a granny square. Yeah, it just, yeah, you can really go crazy with all sorts of different granny square creations, and then you can use them to connect them together to create something else. I think if you're looking for a granny square project, then you should definitely check out the sunflower cardigan, because that was actually one of the very, very first projects that I did as a crochet project, which is like a wearable piece. And I was really surprised that people were actually watching this video so much. And that project was something that made my channel move to the place where it is right now. So I really appreciate that, actually. But yeah, after that, like after all the granny squares, I became kind of like a little bit more interested in just doing like wearable pieces. And it's been a while actually since I have filmed any granny square tutorial, and I'm also thinking that perhaps I should do one. And I have like a long list of all sorts of different granny squares that people have either asked, or people have been interested in creating, or have requested, and then I did. But I do have a lot more than like that I still haven't done and that I should do. So maybe I will try to work on some granny squares again at some point soon. Because for those, it's also like, since the granny square normally is smaller in size and it doesn't take as much time to finish it as, for example, it does for creating a raglan, it's easier to like for as a crochet artist, let's say, it's easier to work on creating those tutorials and patterns much faster than it is for like finishing a whole new wearable piece like a cardigan or whatever, because that takes like the time to make it takes a long time, like 2 weeks sometimes, depending on like how much free time I have, and then like editing the video, editing the pattern, and so on, like it takes much longer. So in a way it was also fun to work on granny squares, just because I was able to make them a lot quicker, and also to teach them to you a lot quicker. So I a little bit miss that, because like working on wearable pieces, it is a lot of work, but it's also nice because I know how like a box, kind of like a storage box where I have put everything that I made so far, because I was literally running out of places to put them. I mean, I don't put any of my crochet work in my actual wardrobe, just because there is no space already, and then everything that I have made myself, I tried to store in kind of like a different place, because also it's for like accessibility and to see like what I have done so far. I tried to put in a kind of like in a cupboard, in a smaller one, because I like to separate it, and then I realized, okay, I'm running out of space, I have no place to put it, and all the yarn that I have as well, like I'm really, like I need a new room just for everything that I have made. But yeah, I could also show that at some point. And yeah, maybe I should also film some vlogs because I haven't done that either. But okay, let's check back here. I have almost finished this second row, and even with all the yapping that I'm doing right now, it's building up really quickly. Anyway, but let me check back on the comments. I saw some of them come in. Oh, so nice to hear about the granny square cardigan. Yeah, nice. It's nice to hear that you have similar journey. I'm so happy. And hi to India as well. Oh my god, people from all over the world. That's so nice. But yeah, my sunflower cardigan or granny square cardigan, I've seen many people recreate it, so it's really nice to actually, like, that's the super satisfying part about working on projects like this, because you can really see other people making them, and it just always warms my heart when I see it that you have made it as well. Okay, now the second round is also finished, and this is how it looks. So it really like grows in size very, very fast. And so now I finished my row on this side, and I already connected it together. So now it's the same thing. We just want to start a new round, then flip our work, and then continue on the other side. So I'm here, and I just want to do it again together with you, just so it helps. So again, we are just chaining 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we are turning our work like this. And then we are skipping this space that we have here and going inside here and doing our double crochet in there like this. So we have just built our first block in here, and then with that we have actually reached our stitch marker in here. So again, it's the same process. When we reach the stitch marker, it means that we are working on adding a corner. So I'm doing that in here. I did double crochet, then chain of 1, and then in the same space again doing a double crochet, and the middle one is the one where we have to put in our stitch marker. So I'm doing that, and then again chaining 1, and in the same space again adding a double crochet like this. So as you have noticed, every corner that we have, I don't think I mentioned it before, but basically every corner consists of 3 double crochets and chain of 1 in between them. I found you because of the granny squares. Yay! Trapillo. Oh wow. That sounds so nice. Is it like a blanket with all sorts of different granny squares? Or you try to just do one granny square, or did you combine them? Yeah, maybe I should do more granny squares now that I hear people finding me through that and experimenting with all sorts of new projects from there. And here I'm working on 3rd round already. I will finish this, and I will again, maybe we can stop in the next corner, and I will try it on again so we can see the difference that is already just by adding an extra round. And I mean, like, if you don't want to do this with the holes in between, you could just skip that part, and instead, like, every chain or chain 1 space that you do, if you don't do it, you can just do a double crochet instead, and then you will just have filled stitches and it won't be with holes. So that's an option as well. I just wanted to have something like fluffier, because I also felt like maybe it would be too hot in a sweater like this. Okay, I have reached the stitch marker, so I'm just adding in stitches for the corner. Let me stop here. Okay, let's try it on like this. It's a lot, like only like, I mean, it's been 47 minutes technically, maybe less. It's a lot. And like, if you have watched my raglan tutorials, you know that we just have to keep on repeating this process of adding rounds until we have reached our armpit. I'm wearing like a huge sweater, not sweater, I'm wearing a huge t-shirt, but we just have to keep on adding rounds and until this corner meets with the corner on the other side in here, like under our armpit, and then we will be able to connect and keep on working in rounds basically. So this is what we are doing. We are just keep on repeating this round that we have here. I see. Yeah, it also happens. Like, also a blanket, making a blanket from granny squares. I have never done it myself, and it blows my mind when people have made a blanket. It's a lot of work. Like, it's a lot of granny squares. Like, if you imagine for making a cardigan, the sunflower cardigan, for example, that I did, it required 54 granny squares, if I remember correctly. And I mean, it's also something that you can, it depends on the size of the granny square. You could manage to make them less if you make them bigger, or if you want, you can also make the cardigan longer or sleeves make longer and then add extra. But like for that one, it was 54 granny squares, and I think it took me like 2 months. I mean, it's not like I was working on this cardigan like non-stop, but like it took me 2 months just by doing a couple of granny squares in the evening. And then like once I had all of them ready, I still had to connect them together. It was a lot of work. So imagine like if it's 54 granny squares just for a cardigan, then a blanket or a rug or anything, like it's insane. I saw on Instagram someone posted that they did make a blanket with sunflower granny squares, and I counted like on purpose to see like how many it was, and I think it was like 120. It was crazy. Like it's a lot of work. I have never done it, but I'm kind of tempted. But you also need a lot of yarn, and I actually do have some leftover yarn, which is like similar material that I did use for my granny square cardigan. And I was thinking of making, because I've seen this trend also on Instagram where you spin the wheel and then you pick like random colors of each round of the granny square that you're working on. And I'm thinking of doing that because that would be like a fun way to make a wearable piece, and also a fun way to actually use the yarn that I have, because it's like just a couple of skeins in different colors, and like colors are very random because at that point I wanted to have something like super random. So that would be a nice way to use up that yarn. But yeah, it's a lot of work. But I really want to use it up, and just to have more space, I guess, for like either new crochet creations or more yarn. probably probably it will be replaced with more yarn, that's for sure. But yeah, I think it's just fun to have a lot of it. And I mean, like once you get into this like yarn game, it's just insane. Like sometimes you just see, oh, this is a nice material, and you don't necessarily have a project in mind. You don't have like a specific idea what you want to do with it. You just want to buy, I don't know, a couple of skeins, and that's it. And I mean, sometimes a couple of skeins are enough of making whatever you want to make, but sometimes it's just a couple of skeins and you're really gonna like come up with the big project. And it has happened quite a few times with me where I'm just buying a couple and thinking that I will either, like, I will see how it works when I start working on whatever project I want to work on, and then I do, and I run out of yarn, of course, and then when I want to buy new one, there's nothing to buy from. Because, like, especially in Denmark, there are some grocery stores which sell yarn like on seasonal basis. So for example, this one, I bought it in a local store where the stock that is like the things that are actually available in the store, they just keep on changing like constantly depending on the season. And this yarn, I'm doing this again. Wow. This yarn, it was available. Like there were quite different colors, and I think I bought them like end of September, something like that. And I bought 5 because I knew like this is a good price. It's discounted. It's probably going to disappear soon. And there's another color in like gray, which was actually light gray, and I liked it a lot. But since I already got 5 of these, I thought maybe I will just come back tomorrow and then I can grab more of the gray one. And guess what? I went to the same store the next day, like literally the next day, and everything was gone, and it was just replaced with Halloween stuff. And I'm like, where is my yarn? But I really wonder what happened with that yarn, because they were hidden. Like there was nothing in those baskets apart from those couple of skeins of yarn that were there. And I hope they didn't throw it out, because that really makes me mad. But I also feel like I was so angry at myself that I didn't buy it, because I think it is a good deal. Just €1.40 for a full skein. Like this is 100 grams of approximately 200 meters. I think it's a good deal. I mean, it's not the best material. I'm not a super huge fan of using acrylic yarn or like polyester and all those sorts of materials. I'll normally prefer having cotton and just using cotton, and like only recently I have also started to use more of wool based yarn, but otherwise I'm not a big fan of acrylic. But I thought, okay, if there is just a little bit of wool added, then maybe I can be okay with it. But otherwise you can feel like, I mean, this one, it looks a little bit fluffier and kind of like more natural, but sometimes you can really tell that it's plastic and it doesn't look great. And I also feel like acrylic yarn, it makes like these lint thingies a lot faster. Maybe tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe cotton does it as well, just as fast. But there is something about acrylic that you can immediately see that it's not a natural fiber, and it just doesn't look as great. But anyway, a great deal is a great deal. And oh my god, I'm already finishing the 3rd round. Let me just go with this. Okay, just connecting it. So again, the same way, each round is connected in exactly the same way and the same method. I forgot to put it. I took out the stitch marker and I forgot to put it in. I think it's better to keep them in. I mean, you can clearly see which one is the corner stitch, but I did this yesterday when I was just testing out like the width of the neckline. And instead of adding I removed the stitch marker, and instead of adding a corner, I went in my autopilot and started to work on like the following stitches. So I ended up only having 3 corners, so that's not right. And I finished the round and I was like, this doesn't look right. Yeah, it happens to the best of us. I like to say that a lot. Okay, 3rd round is done. This is how far we are moving. It's exciting. I actually think what we could do is just to compare it with the sweater that I have here. So if I try to put it on like this, because for this sweater I did 9 rounds in total, you can see here. So I was switching color after every 3. So maybe if we just put it side by side, we can see how far compared to this sweater, how far we are with these materials. Because like this yarn, for this sweater, I used 5mm hook. So it was a little bit smaller in terms of like how it was growing. And I had to do more stitches, where for this one I didn't do as many because the yarn is thicker and I'm also using a 6mm hook. So it is a little bit of a difference. Let me check. I will just put it like this. So this is where we are. And now that I have done 3 rounds of this one, it actually seems like we are covering already like 4 rounds of the compared to this one. So we are 1 round ahead. So maybe like I want this raglan to be more like a looser fit, and perhaps for this one I won't be adding these cuffs that I have here, because I really want to be like a fluffy cloudy thing, and I think it will work well. But I mean, we will see it at the end, because sometimes I do change my mind. But what I wanted to say is that maybe for the armpits, even though it is growing quicker, so for this one it was 9 rounds, so maybe for this one I will just end up doing 8, and then it will be kind of like oversized sweater. And maybe it will also mean like if I don't end up wearing it, it could be a nice Christmas present for someone. Oh yeah, I know you from Instagram. You've been asking me a couple of questions. It's very nice about the wave top. I saw it, and you had really nice color mix for the top that you're wearing. And that is actually also a very nice creation and very nice project, because like the stitches that you're working on, I mean, those are very basic stitches, but you do have to follow the wave pattern. So the row keeps on changing, and I think it's also quite fun in that sense, because you always have to pay attention and follow along, and it kind of like doesn't get boring, and each round was changing, so that was nice. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out and how far you are, and like any of you please share your photos. Like I really like seeing them. Let me have some water as well. I'm talking a lot and my mouth is a little bit dry. How did I finish this? Yeah, okay, so I started or connected this 3rd one, and now I'm working on the 4th. So again, chaining 4, turning my work, and then skipping the gap and doing double crochet on top of double crochet. So again, the same. And like, yeah, now that I'm also thinking about it, why it's going so quickly is because of course we have all these gaps. So it's not only the big chunky yarn and the big hook, it's also the stitches that we are skipping. But yeah, this yarn I actually have all of it in here. In total I bought 5 skeins, which ends up being 500 grams, so 1000 meters. It's a lot, but yeah, the reason why I wanted to do it with like the mesh pattern was because I wasn't like 100% sure that I will have enough of this yarn, and if I don't, then I cannot buy it more, because as I said, it was from a grocery store which switched all of its inventory to Halloween stuff. So there is no yarn left, and I don't even know like what brand it is, because obviously this is not sponsored video at all. I just bought yarn discounted, and I don't know, this is not a brand, this is just like some seasonal thing that they have just produced for their own store, I believe. So yeah, there is no chance that I will be able to buy this yarn unless after Halloween they decide to restock on extra yarn. So that's why I'm like a little bit concerned about the yarn, and I wanted to work on a project where I more or less can assume that I will have enough yarn. So that is why we are doing this mesh thingy. And I was also thinking if I have some leftovers, I will do some beanies or something like that. Because another tutorial that I want you guys, like what I want to teach you is, I mean, I already have a beanie tutorial on my channel, but I wanna do a tutorial for another beanie, but use slightly different stitch, which would kind of look that the beanie is knitted instead of being done as a crochet. So that's what I want to do. So I'm hoping that I will have some leftovers, and then I will make a matching beanie and another tutorial. Because yeah, beanies are so nice to work on. Also for this raglan sweater that I just keep on showing you like multiple times already, I did have, like, I was very stressed. Like sometimes you think that crochet is such a relaxing project, but most of the time I ended up stressing that I won't have enough yarn. But like for this project, the raglan sweater, like the blue and the white one, I made it basically also using yarn that I wasn't sure that I will have enough, and it was just like a couple of skeins, and I wanted to use them because I wanted to get rid of them, and I wasn't sure if I will have to order more or not. But at the end, I managed to create the sweater. I managed to even add cuffs and hems, and then I still had some leftovers, and from those I made a beanie, and it looks super nice. But yeah, I like making beanies because like the one that I made with this yarn, I just did it over, it was just on a Sunday, and I spent maybe like, I don't know, maximum 3 hours or so in total, and the beanie was ready. So that is what I want to do with this yarn as well. And it's such a nice project also on Sunday, where when you don't want to do anything super special or specific, it's just nice to have your hands busy. And like for me at least, like ever since I started to do crochet, and when I don't have anything like super specific to do, or like a certain thing that I want to do, I just need to have like just a project. Even if I'm just watching a TV, doing nothing special, it's just nice for me to have my hands busy. So I assume that many of you are the same. And also like these beanies, I think they are such a nice Christmas gift. Like I'm recently into like making gifts that are handmade gifts, also for some of my friends that have had like birthday parties or house moving parties or anything like that. I mean housewarming parties. It's nice to give something handmade as a present, and I think now the Christmas time is approaching, it's also a nice gift. And yeah, for Christmas, I don't know, like now it's only like we are just in the middle of October, a little bit like over the half of the October, but there is Christmas stuff already everywhere, and I don't get it. Like, but this year it really surprised me because like I think it was beginning of October and I already saw them putting some Christmas lights on some of the shopping malls, and I was like, wow, this doesn't feel right. Because like normally it's you wait for the Halloween to be over and then it feels like, okay, now you can start putting up all the decorations and everything. But this year I really noticed that it was happening super quickly. And I also feel like this year I'm just confused about the general season timeline because there wasn't a lot of summer here. I didn't really feel like I had a good summer this year because it was quite cold in general and quite rainy, both here in Denmark and also in Latvia. The weather was terrible, so it didn't feel like summer ever came. I didn't enjoy as much sun, so it's just shocking that now the fall or autumn is already here so quickly, and they are already putting up Christmas stuff. So it's just I feel lost in this season. But yeah, what I wanted to say about all of this Christmas stuff is that it's such a commercial celebration, like for the past years, that I feel like making something handmade is so much nicer instead of like participating in this big money spending nonsense, because it's really just about like spending as much money as you can basically. So if I can say one thing, it would be just buy yarn, have a good time, and make your own Christmas presents for your family and friends, because I'm sure that they will appreciate it as well. At least I would. If you want to give me a present, I mean, it can always be yarn, but if you cannot figure out, then you can do something handmade and I would be super happy. Yeah, I saw another comment. Yeah, I also saw your dragonfly photos. That was super nice as well. Very, very cool. I'm glad. Um, okay, I'm just adding my stitch markers. And another corner will be added. It's quite crazy how fast it's growing. Because after the stream, I also think that I will just keep on working and keep on working on this sweater, and maybe it could be possible that it will be already done tomorrow, but I will try not to rush too much. But yeah, I'm just finishing the 4th round as well. Happened super fast. Maybe we can try it on again. This is how far I am. Let me know what you think. Because I think it's nice. It will be quite chunky, and yeah. And maybe at the end here at the neckline I will also be able to add some border, because I did in my cuffs and hems tutorial. I was working on the bottom hem and also these cuffs, but then I also ended up doing the same thing for the neckline, so that is what you can do as well, if you just want to have kind of like a border in there. So do that, and maybe I will do that here also, or yeah, a nice border is also always a good thing to add. And the time is 5. I'm just also monitoring how much sunlight we still have. I mean, I do have a lamp that I can use, but then it's always too much in my face. But I think we will be able, like now it's around 5 that I'm going to start working on. Maybe we will be able to do a couple more rounds together, and yeah, we will see how it goes. For this I'm using just double crochets, and let me show you in my camera. So yeah, it's just double crochets and chain 1 space in between. and this is how it looks. And when you are starting a new round, you basically just have to do 4 chains, which counts as 1 double crochet, and then chain 1 space as well, and then you are starting to just work on the next stitch. So here I have created this one block, and then once you want to work on the next one, you just chain 1 and skip this space that you have at the bottom, and then just add a double crochet on top of this stitch that you have, or like double crochet from the previous row. And then once it's added, you have created another block in here. Yes, super easy. And yeah, that's also the thing that you need to know about crochet, is that once you know all the basic stitches, you can do anything you want. You just have to know how to do basics, and once you have the basics, you can use them in all sorts of different ways. I'm making my first sweater too right now. Oh, awesome. Nice. Working on top-down sweaters, it's super satisfying, and I think it's, at least for the raglan sweater patterns that I have, it's very easy to work out your own size, and it's very easy to customize it. So I really like top-down projects, because you can just try it on as you go and then do some adjustments if it's needed, and it's very easy to adjust the sizing. Nice. And yeah, the cuffs and ribbings also sounds nice. And I think those are the things that, like, if you work on any type of sweater or top, it can be super basic, or you can use super basic stitch as the main stitch for the project that you are working on, and then with the cuffs and ribbings and like borders and so on, you can experiment a little bit more and add like a kind of like a nice touch or an accent to the project. Oh, in India, yeah, it's actually quite late. But in India, you also have a lot of different time zones, right? Oh, yeah, the stitch sounds nice. I will look it up as well. But yeah, sometimes it's also nice to work on something new, because then you have this challenge and you have kind of like a project where you can practice it and learn it. And yeah, I like trying out new things as well. And that is what I'm trying to do quite often too. But yeah, it's nice to work on something new and just to expand your knowledge on crochet as well. Yeah, I'm quite curious about that stitch. I will make a note to myself. I will look it up afterwards. I'm super curious. But I do like a lot of lacy projects as well. I think lacy stuff is the go-to for summer, at least for me. Oh, and I'm just grabbing my phone because I did ask if you guys had any questions in my story. I forgot I was talking about this already. But yeah, you were... Basically, the questions that I got made me realize that I need to reintroduce myself to you guys and tell you a little bit more about who I am, blah blah blah, because I haven't done that in a long time. I think the last time when I did it was when I created my crochet account on Instagram. And actually when I created my account, I just wanted to keep it kind of like as a personal library. Okay, see now. it's coming out super nicely and smoothly and no big chunks anymore. But yeah, when I created my Instagram account, I just wanted to have something as basically just a photo album for myself where I can post for myself mainly whatever I have made, and so I can remember all my crochet projects that I have created in the past at some point. And I don't know what happened. Suddenly people started following me, basically. But that is how I created it. I didn't have a vision in my head that I wanted to be. I want to become like a super crazy content creator on Instagram. I also feel like Instagram is a lot of hustle. I'm not sure if any content creator is watching right now, but it is a lot of work, and sometimes when you think that your followers will see whatever you are creating on and they don't, it's quite sad, or it's always disappointing when you don't get the outcome that you hoped for. So I try not to worry about it too much, and I feel like Instagram is also taking too much time for what it is, and it's just a lot of work, and it can really, I don't know, mess you up a little bit mentally, and yeah, it's not nice. But what I'm trying to say is that I just created it, and then I tried to introduce myself in the first post, and that was like already a couple of years ago, and I haven't done it ever since because I just forgot, and it totally slipped out of my mind. And then I wanted to do this one girl 10 obsessions post, and then because I also changed phones, so I have some old photos on my previous phone and some new ones here, so I also have to figure out what I want to show. But anyway, I just thought that it would be nice to talk about or tell you who I am. So I think that's another thing that we can talk, or I can just tell you a little bit more about myself, and you can ask also questions here, because the mainly questions that I got on my stories were just like, tell me more about this, or and so on. But yeah, I'm from Latvia. I mentioned this in the beginning. I'm living in Denmark, in Copenhagen. It's quite nice actually to live in Copenhagen, but I'm missing some sun. But I mean, since I'm from Latvia, it's also a northern country, and Denmark and Latvia are kind of like in a similar level. So during winters, it's very dark, or it gets dark very, very quickly. And then during summers, you have a lot of sunlight. So in that sense, in terms of weather, when I moved here, it wasn't a huge change, and I wasn't as surprised. And I also feel like nature-wise, in general, it's very similar, or kind of like similar as it is in my home country. So it wasn't as shocking, because I do have a couple of people who are coming from like, even from Europe, and coming from like southern countries, and they have like huge mountains and all those sorts of things which we don't have in Denmark or in Latvia. So it wasn't as surprising for me as it was for them, and also like the sunlight changes and all those sorts of things. So in that sense, it was quite easy. But yeah, that's me. That's where I'm from. During my free time, as you know, guys, I do a lot of crochet. That is a big hobby of mine, which I didn't think that it will grow into something as big as it is now. I spend a lot of my free time actually on crochet, and it became recently that I'm doing a lot of tutorials, and I have actually been doing crochet like this much as I'm doing it now for the past 3 years, I think. That would be fair to say, but I'm still in this phase where I really, really want to do this as a full-time job, and I want to find and figure out a way how I can actually be able to do only crochet. It's quite hard when you live in a country as Copenhagen, or in a country as Denmark, and especially in Copenhagen, because it is quite expensive to be living here. So I have to figure out how I can do that. But yeah, I always try to come up with new things to show and teach you, and try to work on some new designs for different types of things. So still spending quite a lot of time on that. But yeah, otherwise, besides crochet, I also enjoy playing beach volleyball. That is a big passion of mine as well. I'm actually attending some like practices now. Like actually in Copenhagen, where we play beach volleyball, you're also able to play during winter, but there aren't as many courts, so it's not that often that we can do, because there are many people who want to use them, and it's like limited opportunity. But it's still super nice to be able to have some sort of beach when the weather is not there. So I do that. And besides that, I like to travel. We are currently also planning some vacations. I have a very good friend of mine who lives in Australia, which is on the other side of the world. But yeah, we are thinking of visiting them sometime soon, and it would be nice to be able to see Australia while they are still there, and that's a nice opportunity to explore while you actually have friends who live there. I think. But yeah, that is what is happening. That's a bit about myself. I also got some questions about like project inspirations and how I come up with the things that I'm working on. So I do follow like a couple of latest trends that are going on, and I also tried to look for some like fashion inspiration to see like what are people actually like able to buy in stores, and then how we can make it ourselves, because sometimes I also feel like with the fast fashion we sometimes forget that to be able to make it yourself, I mean knitted things, machines can easily do it, but like that's why I like crochet, because you can only make it with your own hands, and then you can really see how hard it is to make something from scratch. So yeah, of course, I try to follow some fashion trends to see what is going on in there, and then just as I said earlier, I just like to do beginner stuff, just to make sure that I can make you up to speed with if you're just interested in starting to do some crochet. I really like your videos and your projects are amazing. Keep going, girl. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm super glad to hear that. But yeah, with crochet, I also try to post as much as I can, and sometimes like besides crochet, it's not like as I said, I still haven't reached the place where I'm able to do only crochet and to be able to support myself, because it is a lot. But I do try to treat this as like a serious thing that I'm doing during my free time. So I do spend a lot of time on crochet and trying to manage all sorts of things. So I really try to treat this as a full-time job, which is not that easy when you already have another full-time job. And oh my god, I just realized I have made a mistake. So apparently here for this square I forgot to do a chain one space, but I think it won't be as noticeable. So this is what happens quite often. And probably because I'm talking so much, but it's okay. I'm also thinking that I should be doing these sorts of lives more often, and I mean, even if I don't have a specific project in mind, but I normally have something that I'm working on, so it's really nice just to jump in and just to chat about anything. So also If you have any requests or any other questions, then just let me know, because I would be happy to also have kind of like a themed vlogs or anything like that. But yeah, as I said, we are planning this Australia trip, and I've never been to I've never been there, so I don't know what really to expect. And since the country is also so huge, um, it's quite hard to figure out what are the best spots to see within a short period of time. I mean, we are probably going to be there like 2 weeks, but if you have any suggestions, then just let me know. I would really appreciate it, because right now I'm spending a lot of time just talking with ChatGPT and asking what would be the best flight connections to get there. And I've spent a lot of time on all these sky scanners and all those sorts of websites to try and figure out a cheaper way to get there. And trying to look at different dates and when to fly out and when to fly back. And another workaround that I found was that we could, like, normally there are flights that already suggest some layovers, and I thought that perhaps instead of having a 2-hour layover, maybe we can stop somewhere for a couple of days, which is actually quite nice. And one of the suggestions that I found on Skyscanner was that we could stop at Bali, perhaps for like 3 days, and then fly further to Australia. So that's an option as well. And now, since I figured out about this option, I cannot decide what exactly to do, because in a way, it's nice that we are cutting our trip there a little bit. Like, we are cutting the flying time in like different fractions, so we are kind of like saving more time with not flying as much at once and maybe having more energy at the end. But on the other hand, we are shortening our time in Australia. But on the third hand, we are exploring more places at the same time. So I don't know what to do, because it also feels like maybe it will be too scattered around and then we will end up not seeing anything. But the plan is to book some tickets this evening. I don't know. I'm not the best person with taking decisions in general, and then I'm also the person who tries to find like a workaround of like finding different solutions or possibilities, and that's when I end up, I don't know, stressing myself and not being able to figure out what exactly I want to do. So this is exactly what is happening now. Oh, and about the to give more context about the flights, it's also the fact that if we would fly straight to Australia with like right away there without stopping for multiple days anywhere, we would have to pay more instead of if we did stop, for example, in Bali for a couple of days. So it's cheaper to stop somewhere instead of flying just straight. So that is also what we cannot figure out, because it would be nice to save some money, because the difference was quite big. So yeah, I don't know what to do. Decisions. But hopefully this evening, because I just want to be done with it and then just look forward to the adventure. Because we also got married this summer, me and my husband, and we didn't really have like a honeymoon trip, because this summer was very busy with other trips. I mean, we planned all our vacations before we started to plan the wedding. So once we figured out that we actually want to get married this summer, we had already run out of all the vacation days that we had, so we couldn't even plan anything else. And we didn't have time, we didn't have as much money as we should probably. But yeah, the main main thing was that we didn't basically have any vacation days. So it would be nice, like, finally to go somewhere and to enjoy together some time. And also we are planning to go during winter, so that would be cool. Yes, I will give all my pin codes. I'll post them here, I think, on YouTube. That will be best. So it's easier for everyone to access. Yeah. This is how far I am. It's huge. It's getting super huge since I started. And where I am. Yeah, now also that the rounds are like the size of the square itself is growing. It's also like each round is starting to take a little bit longer. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the kind words. It really, yeah, it makes my day always. Another corner added. And yeah, I think I will do this round and then maybe another one, and then maybe we will call it a day because it's starting to get a little bit darker. And I think I'm sitting right next to the window, so perhaps it's not that noticeable, but it is getting darker. But I think by the time I'm done with the next round, it will probably be already evening kind of hours or dinner time, at least here. But yeah, with all my Australia questions or yapping, probably I should have organized it also during Australian time, because I think those guys, they are now sleeping for sure. And now it's also funny with the time change. I think they changed time to summertime like maybe 2 weeks ago, and we are about to change to the winter time in like also 2 weeks, something like that. I know it's the last Sunday of October that at least Europe is changing, and then America, they are changing. I think they changed last week, so we are in this weird time change phase where you never know what time is anywhere. Oh, we have some neighbors here watching this stream. That's cool. And I actually didn't use this camera that much, so I think I can turn it off. Yeah, now you have more of me just in one screen. Yeah. But yeah, about crochet, I also kind of had like a tiny news that since we are not that many people here, I thought maybe it would be nice to give some spoilers, because I've been working on something for the past couple of months, I think, and it's coming to an end, and I will be sharing soon as well. But yeah, since we are not that many, I thought maybe I can also share here. So basically, like if you follow me on Instagram or on here, you probably have noticed that I don't really have a website or anything like that. So, and this has been something that I've been thinking about already for a super long time, that I don't really have a website. And it's kind of, I mean, if you have a YouTube channel, most people also have some sort of like blog on the side or things like that. But so far for myself, I only have YouTube and Etsy, my Etsy page. So what we've been working on is to create my own website and kind of like a store where I would also list some patterns in there. And yeah, so now it's also been a lot of work about figuring all of that out and trying to make everything look nice and figuring like how I want things to look actually and so on. So I hope to share that soon as well, because like now we are like getting closer to an end, and like everything already looks quite nice. It's just some like finishing touches that need to be done, and yeah, I'm quite excited about that as well, because that's like almost like a new chapter for all this crochet work that I'm doing. So stay tuned for that. I think maybe end of October it will be already in a position where I'm like happy to share it further. Hi, nice to see some new people here too. Happy to have you here and all of you here. Like as I said in the beginning of this stream, like I was super stressed that no one will be here, because I literally, like when I posted on my Instagram stories, it was literally like I posted and then I saw like I could on YouTube click that I want to be notified about the stream, and it literally said that it's in less than 24 hours. And I was like, okay, wow, this is short notice really. But yeah, that's why I'm so happy that you are here and together with me, and I will really try to do more of these, like even once the winter comes. I think it's still nice just to do some crochet in the evenings. But yeah, I'm done with another round, and let's just have a look how it is. Yeah, it's crazy fast how quickly all of this can grow. So it will be something like this. And if I check, let me pull this longer so it doesn't unravel. Yeah, not the best t-shirt choice today, but where's the back? So this is what we are aiming for. So actually now that I stretch it, I'm able to like make these two corners meet each other, but I think I will be adding at least 2 more rounds, and then we will be able to connect it together and proceed further with just working on the body. But since I have a couple of similar tutorials already on my channel, so if you want to know all the steps that you have to know, you can check those as well. But maybe I will just show you just quickly. So this is how it looks now once it's just open, and once we are wearing it, it looks like this. And what we want to do is we want to keep on adding these rounds for as many times as it's needed, until once we wear it like this, these corners are able to meet under your armpit, which means that this would be the space for your arms on both sides, and this space here is just for your body, so it's just the sweater that we have. So once we reach that, we are able to just cut off this yarn and fasten off, because we are done with this part. And then our next step would be to reattach yarn either in one of these corners, and then we can proceed further with either working on the body or working on the sleeves. So then it's up to you. You can choose whatever you want to start working on first. I would say, like, if you're limited on your yarn amount, I would rather advise to work on the body, like if you want to create a sweater. But if you're working for creating a shrug, then you can just work on sleeves, but just make sure that both sleeves would end up in equal length. So sometimes it's easier to like work on the sleeves simultaneously to make sure that you are using enough yarn on both sides. But if your preferred option is a sweater or a vest, then just start working from here on the body part and just keep on adding new rounds for as long as you wish, because you can just try it on and just check how is the fitting, and then keep on doing that. And also, once you are adding these rounds at the bottom or for the sleeves, you don't have to worry about adding corners, because it's just regular rounds. As you can see here, for the sleeve it would be just connected like this, and then you just work in circles like that. So there are no corners, it's just like a basic row. So I hope this explanation helps, but otherwise I have a couple of videos explaining that as well. But yeah, for now I think, yeah, since it's getting a little bit darker and later here, I think I will add one more round here, and then we will check again how it looks on me. And maybe I will have to add another one, but if not, then I will be done with that part. But else I think it will also be time for this stream to end today. But as I said, I'm really like, I would be super happy to do more of it, also because the winter season is coming up, and even if it's dark, at least I can spend time crocheting together here with you. So that's nice as well. Wait, I started to I started to work on new round, and now I don't remember if I actually switched my sides or not. Okay, that's another thing, because before, when I worked on the, I did switch, but anyway, I'm starting again. Before, when I worked on the raglan shrug and the filet crochet sweater, and like both of the sweaters, what I wanted to say, yeah, I wasn't turning my work. I was always working on one side. So now with this project, I'm switching it a little bit, because I also noticed that if you don't turn your work, your starting point kind of like starts to shift away. So that's another thing. That's sweet about the Diwali festival. I'll put back this. Yeah, this is also what happens with me very often, that I start to work on new stitches or new rounds or new rows or yeah, whatever, and I forget what exactly I have done, and then I have to double check. So like, even adding stitch markers, like even if you don't feel like you need them, sometimes it's very handy to just put them in just to keep them as a reminder. But like in this case, when I have to switch rounds, and also like actually working on with white or black yarn, that is sometimes the difficult part, because you cannot really see everything that you would have to see. because the stitches become a little bit, I don't know, just harder to figure out. So whenever you see someone using like actual black yarn, it's something you you just have to give these people a medal. But what I really want to do is, actually I bought some black yarn because I wanted to recreate this top with similar drawing pattern, and just use black yarn because I thought that it would look super cool. But I still have to how to do it. But yeah, black yarn, I think black yarn is even harder than white. But in this case it's the fluffy one, because actually, like, before I started and when I was just figuring out what kind of project I want to work on this stream, I tried it on, like, even though instructions on the skein said that I should be using 6mm hook. I didn't have 6mm hook yet, so I first tried it out with 5, and because the yarn itself is very, very fluffy, it was very hard to see where the stitches are, and I also wanted for it to be a little bit like looser, so I was like, okay, 5 is not enough, I have to get a 6mm hook. And I'm glad I did. I have a new one now. Yeah, that was real. This is the first time when I'm officially working with the 6mm hook. And that's why I'm also so excited to be working on that blanket that I talked about before, because I've never worked with such a big hooks before. And maybe that can be something that I can do during the next stream, but we'll see. First I have to see how this sweater goes, because maybe I will really finish it super quickly. And yeah, another thing, when you're taking your yarn here from the middle like this, like, it looks as a full skein for a very long time until you do it like this, because it's slowly starting to disappear in the middle. But I think it's just so funny because you keep on looking on that skein and you think, oh, I still have so much, but actually, like, the middle is like almost empty. It's getting super big. But today I was also thinking about the previous stream that I was doing, and I remember I planned it like a very long time in advance. I think at least like a couple of weeks in advance, because I wanted to schedule it. I wanted to make sure that people are going to join and that they know that it's going to happen and so on. But like, the thing with planning something so like a long time in advance is that you cannot really predict what is going to happen. And what happened was that I got sick, and then when the actual stream was going to happen, I was starting to get a little bit better, but I didn't want to cancel it because I planned it for so long and it felt like it's such a big event for it to be happening. So even though I got a little bit better, I was still a bit sick, and I remember I was making some teas that I can have while streaming, and I also had a bit of a cough. So I had some candies as well that I prepared just for like my throat. So actually, I think like in hindsight, it's easier to just plan them randomly, and then whoever can just join, and at least I don't have to worry about accidentally getting sick or my plans being changed, because sometimes I'm also not so great with planning in advance. What's my favorite color combo for my crocheting? I don't know. For me, honestly, it's very random. Like in the very beginning, I was that type of person who just buys random colors and then tries to combine them. But like in general, I try to do, yeah, everything is very random. It depends on the project that I'm working on, and I think it also depends on the season, and then it kind of also depends on like what kind of colors are trending. Like recently, it was the butter yellow that was like super popular for like during summer. It was quite popular for all sorts of different things that people were working on. I actually never managed to get my hands on that specific shade, but just because I had already projects in mind. But yeah, for me it's very very random on like specific creations that I want to work on, and I think that's something that I should be getting a little bit better on, because it's nicer to have some more like combined looks, especially for if you're creating like something that is matching like shorts and the top or things like that. So that's on my list as well, to be more focused on having like actual color um, color themes and so on. But otherwise I do like working with blue shades. I also feel like blue complements me quite well in a way, and it also has different shades, so it's like you can come up with all sorts of looks, and it's also easy to mix them together. I think it works very well. But I've always liked blue a lot, and I think it's such a basic statement because I don't know, blue is a popular color. People like it in general, I think. But otherwise, if like for me personally, I like a lot of pink. Um, I don't know, when I see some clothes in a store, I'm always being drawn to pick the pink versions. I just like how pink looks in general, so I feel like I have too many pink clothes, for example. But in my crochet work, I don't have that much pink. Yeah, crochet is just random. So, but yeah, I'm trying to be more focused on like similar shades and try to, yeah, that's something yet to come. I first have to use up all this yarn that I have here. And what else do you do besides study or job? Yeah, so as I said, crochet is really taking a lot of time, with like all the content creation and tutorial creation and everything else. But yeah, besides that, like with the little time that I have, so yeah, I work, then I do crochet, then I do some beach volleyball, just playing in general, and also doing like proper trainings. And then I just try to do some strength exercises. I don't really go to gym. I like to just exercise at home. I have some equipment here because at least for me, it feels like going to the gym is such a big commitment, like packing your bag, putting in your sports shoes and all the gym wear and everything, then actually going to the gym, because we have, in the place where we live, we have gym that is quite close, but it's still like at least 10-15 minute walk. So also mentally preparing for this big journey, it's already like taking so much mental space and time already that I'm just I decided that it's easier for me to skip that part and just to do some exercises at home. So I do have some equipment and some dumbbells and like a yoga mat and so on, so I can do something from home. So I do that whenever I have time. But yeah, besides that, just like being active and doing some traveling when it's possible, doing some hiking. I really enjoy hiking. That's also a big thing. I have done 3 Caminos de Santiago, and I would like to do more of them. So I do like that a lot. And what else? What else do I do? Yeah, I don't know. Just crochet is taking so much time that I'm trying to not take on more hobbies, because it's very easy for me to get hooked on crafty things. But the color combination in your projects are so pretty, and the blue is also my favorite color to crochet with. I think blue and pink together looks cute, and yes, Barbie-ish. That's a nice comparison. Yeah, I like blue. Yeah, I agree totally. And also, actually, pink and kind of like a matcha green. I think that's also a super nice combo. Or like, yeah, pink with the yellow. It's kind of like candy floss, or yeah, just looks like candy. I don't know. It's nice color. But thank you. I because like for me, I don't really like think about the colors, and like sometimes I'm just using them randomly, but I'm glad to hear that that you enjoy them, and it looks nice. I just finished this round and this is how it looks, so let's just try it on again for one last time here. I felt like I will see a bigger difference, but it is getting bigger. So you can see, yeah, I chose to wear a wrong t-shirt today, but you can see here these ends are meeting. It's just below the armpit. And let me also check on the other side. Where's the back? It's not so easy to catch it. So if I were to connect it now, it would look like this. So it would be a little bit tighter and tighter, like a skinny fit, but I want it to be more loose. So I think now even 2 more rounds would be at least 2 more rounds that I would have to do. But this is how it looks now. And if you want, from here you can proceed easily further with doing the body parts or the sleeves and so on. But like this was quite long explanation of everything, but I do hope that the intro helped. I hope the insights on the other raglan sweaters that I have done, that it helped as well. But yeah, I do have all the tutorials for those. I also have written patterns. If you're interested, of course, you can check them out. But yeah, the thing that I liked about raglan sweaters in general is that they are easy, they are beginner friendly. It's a relaxing project to have, and also if you're using a bigger crochet hook and chunky yarn, then it works up very, very quickly. As I said, for this sweater, it only took 2 days for me to finish, like not including the cuffs and hems, but it was very, very quick, and it's not like I was super rushing. And I did it over the weekend, but still it happened a lot quicker than I was anticipating in the beginning. So that is why I like raglan sweaters. They are quick and satisfying to make, and also easy to adjust in size, and you can just figure out the size as you go, and you don't have to worry about measuring that much in advance. So it's very easy, and I hope that you will enjoy. And with this, you learn basically a very simple technique that you can apply for different creations in the future. And like, instead of creating a sweater, you can also create a shrug or a vest. So there are also other adjustments that you can do with this. But yeah, I hope it was fun. I will definitely try to do something similar soon, hopefully a lot sooner than this time, because yeah, I think it was at least 6 months since the last stream that I did, but maybe if we can do it at least once a month, that would be nice. Once a week, maybe that's a little bit pushing too much, but I will try. But otherwise, let me know, please, if you have any requests for future videos, anything like tutorials, vlogs, or new granny squares, because I haven't done those for a while, or anything that you would like to see on my channel here on YouTube or on Instagram or anywhere else, then just let me know. And also, if you have any questions in general about, I don't know, about crochet, anything that you need help with, or yeah, as I said, more that you would like to see, or anything at all, or stuff like that, yeah, just let me know. I would be super happy to answer and to help and to be here more, especially now. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and please, yeah, join for the next one, and I will be so happy. Thanks so much for being here. As I said in the beginning, I thought that it will be just me and I was freaking out already, but actually a lot of people joined, so I'm really grateful. Yeah, I really appreciate it. And yeah, just a quick request for a tutorial for a wallet. Yes, that would be an easy one. I can try to figure it out as well. I will try to just quickly add a note, so I remember. But yeah, any easy tutorials, I'm super interested to also do something like that, because sometimes it's very handy to learn different stitches, and maybe that's where I have more room for experimenting. But anyways, I'm starting to talk again too much, but yeah, thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you soon next time. And just let me know if you have any requests or any wishes for future videos. But yeah, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate.